John F. Kennedy became the President of the United States in 1960. And the thing about that was that people do not know, and history is not revealed to many, especially in the community of color, that John F. Kennedy, when he was a senator, he voted against the civil rights bills. People need to understand that. But he was the only hope, and the hope was in his brother Bobby, who was the Attorney General at the time. But a big decision had to be made, and this is where most black people went toward the Republican Party. When Barry Goldwater, the senator from Arizona, was running and said some things that was somewhat offensive to black people. And Dr. King made a phone call and said, we must in record number turn out for Lyndon Johnson, somebody we never thought we'd turn out for. But the story has not ended there. I want you to understand that even though Lyndon Johnson became the president of this great nation, that he did sign the great 1964 Civil Rights Act. But did you know he signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965? But it would have never came to pass. Now I want to look at the camera on this very clearly. It would have never came to pass if it were not for the Republican Party. And I say that because 80% of the Republicans in Congress voted for the Civil Rights Act and the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Act, and only 60% of Democrats. That's on the record. So we need to understand that. That's history. Can we give ourselves an applause? I understand politics. I understand when people run for office. My dad was a mayor. 4 of my brothers were city council. I was city council. I've been chief assistant to a U.S. congressman and many other things in life, and have made many elected officials. And I understand the one thing you want is to vote. That's one thing I like about our Congressman Scott Ridgel. He will not compromise for what's right. That's why I want to support him. He'll come over to my office and we'll share a peanut butter sandwich. He's everyday people. And I had to put that plug in there because he's a Republican and he's unique. He's reaching out to everybody. But the Republican Party is a good party. But every now and then you'll find some people in it that want to take it a different direction. But as a whole, we have been the party of everybody. As president, as our former president, Ronald Reagan said, the party of the Big Tent. We just got to include everybody. So as we move on now into this time, I'm going to change the page from civil rights. But you need to know that President Nixon also signed Executive Order 11246 that allowed minorities and women and others to participate in government on contracts, that they can get a percentage of the contracts, but you never hear about that. And then I would ask, you know, I was a Democrat. I switched out because I was part of the movement and the hype of Democrats. But then I asked, the only thing the Democrats wanted from us was our vote. And then the Republican Party, my good friend, Governor Bob Taft of Ohio, good man, who asked me after 9/11, called me that night of 9/11 and said, Pastor Wheeler, I want you to give a message to the state of Ohio tomorrow morning. Would you be willing to do that? I was truly honored that our governor would ask me to deliver the message from the State House in front of all the legislatures on closed circuit TV to the state of Ohio. And I told them that we're a nation of one. I came here to retire. Sit on the ocean, drink lemonade, hang out with Dr. Bill, and cool out. My wife had undergone 4 brain surgeries, so I was just going to walk the ocean with her and do nothing. But you know what? When you've been a part of a movement, you can't. When I read the newspapers and I see what children are killing each other in record number, I can't sit still on the ocean. When I read that families are dysfunctional and And children are taking pills even in the upscale neighborhoods as well as the neighborhoods in the urban areas. I can't sit on the ocean. That is, I'm in the fourth quarter of my life, I got to do something, to leave something where we can all come together. That's why I had asked Miss Richards back there, the trainer, to come today. She said, should I put a dress on? I said, no, come as you are. And there was a reason for it, because I want to wake up seniors. I call it Senior Nation. It's time for us to wake up and leave something. Don't sit in the rocking chair, because all the rocking chair do is go back and forth, but it doesn't move. Young nation needs our minds and our wisdom. This young lady does health things. Starting April 7th at 10:30 at Mount Trashmore, we're going to have a walk every first Thursday of the month. And we're going to walk around Mount Trashmore. We're going to do calisthenics, because many of us are diabetic. And we're going to live again. Woo! Thank you. Quit talking about how bad your back is and you get out and make it. We're going to come alive, because America needs us. Our children are crying out to us, just like they were to Moses in the wilderness. And we ought to do something before we leave this earth. Last night, I was in Hampton. I'm a little hoarse. I was speaking over there. And I was, you know, what a dichotomy. I've been here this morning. Last night I'm in Hampton, where there's bodyguards everywhere. I'm at a club called, what was that club called, Megan?
Club Twist.
Club Twist. Can you see me at Club Twist? I'm at Club Twist last night, lights are dark. I cannot even find my way, thank God for GPS. And, because I called my wife, said I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at. But I'm going in there, there's about 75 gangbangers. They had invited me because they wanted to talk to me. And the guy sitting next to me had a guy standing behind him looking mean and evil like this. That was his bodyguard. And I went to shake his hand. He didn't want to shake my hand. I said, son, shake my hand. And he finally put his hand out, but I could have broke his little hand, because, you know, I'm old school. And, you know, we know how to pull up weeds without gloves on. Am I right about it, man? They don't know about that stuff. Thank you so much. Thank God for help. Amen. I'm almost done. Bear with me. But I was at Club Twist, and a young man asked me, say, well, Reverend, they invited you to speak to us. Why are you here? I said, I'm here, son, because I love you. I said, don't you know it's Friday night? He said, yes, sir. Now, these are tough guys. He said, this is a guy that just got up and said he has shot several people, and he only looked 20-something years, 21 years old. He had a teardrop under his eye. You know, teardrop means you kill somebody. And he wanted to know why was I there. I said, it's Friday night. I'm supposed to be home with my wife eating catfish. I said, I drove through that tunnel, through this traffic, to get here to tell you I love you. I said, all preachers aren't bad. And I said, let me tell you something else, son. I'm here because I want you to turn your life around. I want you to make it, and all you young people out here. And they embraced me, because several more young people got me and said, well, Reverend Wheeler's been with us. That's why we invited him. We can trust him. And I told them some history, and I said, it's not supposed to be like this. The Aaron Wheeler group, and I'll be 3 minutes and done. Is that all right, Ken?
Take your time, sir.
Okay, thank you. Boy, good people treat preachers right. All the pass the basket like we do in church now. Let me say that the Aaron Wheeler group, we formed that because that's our humanitarian reach out. These kids ought not be dying. Mothers ought not be at home by themselves struggling. I'm tired of these young kids calling women the B word with no disrespect, cap on right and left, don't know what it means. Because we got to control their minds. Because if we control their minds, we can control their actions. I'm not supposed to be here because drug dealers do not like me. And they like to see me dead. But you know what? I serve a God that sit high and look low and keeps his arms around me. So no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I want to say to you that we're going to do an expo. I'm a dreamer, but a dream is only a dream unless you act on it. We're going to do an expo here in October, school board, and it's going to be from October 3rd through the 9th. I have taken on the convention center. We're going to get at least 10 to 20,000 people through on that Saturday. But on that week, we're going to bring people through. We're going to play Family Feud. And the specialist, is she still here? He's gone. Okay, I meant to call him out. Chris Kettner is going to be our host for the Family Feud, the Bob Barker or whatever. And we're going to do things that week. We're going to do safety things. We're going to do, the walk is going to continue right up there. And then we're going to have New Nation. New Nation is if you're 20 and under. We're going to be taking pictures of children around a conference table. And the children are going to be between the ages of 2 and 4, and that's going to be our poster children. And on it, it's going to say we're more alike than different. New Nation. And it's going to be Vietnamese, African Americans, Asians, Latinos, a little bit of everybody. All these little kids. New Nation. We do not have time to be archaic in the way we think, brothers and sisters, because we're just graveyard travelers passing through. Our time is at hand, and we ought to leave something. On this expo, we're going to have a free clinic, so people who do not have health insurance can come through. We're going to have 25, 35 doctors working. We're going to have employment, and I'll go back to my brother Scott, our congressman. I just call him Brother Scott. Our congressman, because he said, I'm running on jobs. We plan to hire more than 200-300 people by that weekend that's going to put people to work. If you put them to work, we can keep people from robbing folks. We're going to do a lot. And the Women's Club were one of the first to sign on and say, we're going to support you. Now, when you get the women, we're going to win. Successful people do what failures do not want to do. They go the extra mile. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. It's the storms of life that make us. A kite go higher when it goes against the wind. I prefer the challenges of life rather than the guaranteed existence. What I'm saying to you today is that this expo will be great. The people will be greater. We're going to do great things in Hampton Roads together. And we're going to get beyond the Democrats and Republicans. We are proud Republicans. But I want the black community to know, especially, don't be bought by the Democratic Party. And I say that because they owe us a whole lot. And I can only say that because I was a Democrat. Now, I kid you not, some of you all may not like the president, but I do. But I want him to do more. He's got to do more, and I'm going to hold him accountable. I'm going to call him out. So if you see this, Mr. President, I'm calling you out. But you know what? We're going to make it. We got to get beyond it and save the next generation. Yes. And that's why I like the school board. Because they give up their time and they're not paid a lot of money. But they're making a difference. So as I take my seat, we must make a difference. Whether you live uptown or downtown, we must make a difference. Whether you got big money or little money, we must make a difference. Whether you're rich, poor, black, white, brown, or red, we still must make a difference before God calls us home. Because you don't know when you're going to be snatched. But I'll say this to you. Let us all be ready that when we leave here, we can say we left the world a little better than what we found. I thank you.